guys, how have you been? So we're back to talking about dating and for single people. So this is all about dating. Today's episode, it's one of my favorite. I love today's content. So it's about I have 7 tips, 7 dating tips for single women. This is for women. Guys, today I'm sorry. So before I get into it, I would like to say you will mean the world to someone one day. And there's a lead for every port, and someone will go crazy about you. And one day, someone will sweep you off your feet. And I really mean it. So, for the single people who feel like Mudhoni knows so much about dating, it's like all there is to life is just men. Well, probably this content is not for you if you have that attitude. But being single is not a bad thing. You are complete even when you're single. I was single for such a long time and I really talk about it. And I had some of the best times of my life when I was single. I took myself to the best holidays. I bought myself nice stuff. I loved myself. I took myself for therapy. So being single is amazing. Being single is amazing. But you get to a point in your life where you want companion, you want to date, you want more, and sometimes it can be challenging. It was challenging for me, and I had to learn these things I'm going to talk about today the hard way. So if you've gotten to a point where you want to find your dream man, would like to get married, you want that quality relationship, I have some dating tips for you. My name is Mudhoni Mukiri and you're watching Mudhoni's Mission. The reason I decided to do this content that I do here on my channel is because sometimes when I was going through the hardest in terms of heartbreaks, wanting to date, I could not find any local content addressing these issues. All the content I would find online was from international forums, and I decided to be that person to bring that to you. I decided to be that person to bring that content closer to you. So let's get right into it. The first tip is something I have sung here like every other time. I think I should release a song and sing about my first point. You have to be what you're looking for in the other person. You have to be what you're looking for. If you're looking for a financially stable guy, you have to be financially stable. And that is why you find, for example, if you were dating someone else and the most they would spend on you is 5,000 Kenya shillings. And then right now, the person they're dating, they even buy them cars, they take them on nice holidays. It's because you had placed yourself like that. Like you were on that level for 5,000 shillings, and there are women who place themselves on that level to be bought for a Range Rover, to be given their dream home. So you have to be what you're looking for in terms of if you want someone who's doing really well financially, please have something going on for yourself. If you want a man who communicates, who talks to you throughout the day, who calls you to check how your day was, you better learn to return those missed calls. You also better learn to be a good communicator. You have to be what you're looking for, because the energy you give out there is the energy that bounces back to you. And there's an episode I talk about dating a toxic man, where I dated a narcissist. I was also very toxic, and the energy I gave out there of meanness, of I don't care, and that bad energy is what I got in return. So you have to really be what you're looking for when it comes to dating. If you're looking for a husband, then you have to carry yourself as a wife. You cannot say you want a family man and you're drinking every day, you're in debt, you're crazy out here, So be what you're looking for. That's the first tip. Work towards getting there. Take some time off, like outside the noise. Stop being busy for a while and listen to yourself. Take yourself on a date. Read some relationship books. Be that person. Be a quality woman if you want a quality guy. Quality men don't walk around with women who are here looking for casual sex and nonsensical things. They want quality because they know they're bringing quality. So if you want a quality guy, if you want that God-fearing man, if you want that respectful man, you also have to have respect. If you want someone who has a sense of humor, who knows how to keep you engaged, you also have to work on your sense of humor. You also have to work on your confidence. So that's the first tip. Tip number 2. You cannot change anyone. You can never change anyone. You know how sometimes you meet a guy, and then you think, he's what I want. He's tall, he has money, he's what I would want in a guy, but then he's a bit disrespectful. you know. And then you think, oh, I can groom him, I can change him. And then sometimes you think he has the worst sense of fashion. Let me work on my skill and then I can change him. You can never change a person. I want you to think about how hard it is for you to change yourself, so you can stop thinking you would change another person who does not even think they need to change. First of all, it's ridiculous, it's crazy. You can never change a man. And I remember this some advice my mom gave me when I was going through my crazy relationship breakup thingy. She said, you cannot change a man, Mudhoni, but you can change yourself to accommodate his behavior. Yeah, that's the advice she gave me. Because we're here hoping someone will change, they will be better. But you cannot change anybody unless they want to change. The only thing you can do is change yourself to accept crap. But then, was I willing to accept bad behavior? No, I'm not going to accommodate it. It's easier for you to leave than for me to, start lowering my standards. So you can never change a person. That is who they are. And Maya Angelou said, uh, believe people when they tell you who they are. The first time they tell you who they are, believe them. Even Oprah Winfrey keeps repeating that. Oprah Winfrey is my mentor, so I'm so crazy about her. So you cannot change a person. You will never change a man. You will never. It's easier for you to walk, and it's easier to walk the first days. Before you start tying yourself too much. Too hard, and before you fall too hard for him. This is really important. Do not assume anything, especially when you're getting to know people, when you're getting, you're exchanging contacts with guys, you're starting to go out on dates. Do not assume, ask questions. So, are you married? Have you ever been married before? Do you have children? How many children? Okay, so do you live with the children or are you doing co-parenting? Okay, so have you ever been engaged? How did it go? Okay. As in, ask questions. Don't assume. Because we have people out here saying, I dated him for a whole year. I did not know he was married. Why didn't you know? Because I didn't ask. I assumed. Don't assume. I thought, stop thinking for him. Think for yourself. Ask questions. Ask what would you want? What ask questions. What's your dream relationship like? What would you like? What do you want in the other partner? Ask those questions. Don't assume. Ask, ask, ask. You know that the first phase of the relationship is usually the interview phase where you're getting to know him. Ask questions. The best you can do for yourself is do yourself justice, is give yourself the best. Please ask. And in the beginning, men are actually really honest. Men are really honest. And I think 2% of women come to find out later a guy is married. Mostly they will tell you, I'm in a situationship. We are sleeping in separate bedrooms. Please don't fall for that crap. Don't. So, yes, don't assume. Ask the right questions. That's my third tip. So, number 4. Deal with men who want what you want. So, what do you want? For example, your name is Nancy, your name is Wanjiko, Otieno, Atieno, Acheng, Michelle, whoever your name is. What do you want in a man? I want a man who is husband material. I want a man who's family oriented. I want a man who wants to start a home. However, the guys you're going out with want casual sex. And then you're there keeping hope. You keep hoping. Keep the hope alive. There's no hope there you're keeping alive. You want a family, you want to get married, but you're hanging out with men who tell you they don't do monogamy. Like they can't just have one woman. Whereas you're looking for faithfulness. Don't deal with such a man. Deal with people who want what you want. If you only want casual sex, then deal with those. If you only want married guys for money, then deal with those. But this episode is not for those kinds of people. This episode is for women who want more, who want to date with purpose, who want commitment, respect, love, and respect those things. So don't deal when you meet a guy and then they tell you maybe you want to have kids and maybe they tell you I hate children. I don't think I would ever have children in my life. I'm not looking at having kids in the next 20 years. If you meet such a guy and you want to have kids yourself, don't deal with that man. Don't date them. Don't even go on the first date. Don't think maybe ulisikia vibaya. No, you had right. So Date people who want the same things you do. If you're so into your Christianity, you have that personal relationship with God, you want a God-fearing man, and then you meet a guy who meets your physical criteria. He's tall, he has good English, he has a good job, but then he's an atheist. However, you want a God-fearing man, but he's an atheist. Don't deal with him. Date men who wants the same thing you do. Work with timelines. For example, there's this question of where do you see yourself in 5 years. Also, look at where he was 5 years ago. Ask him about it. So what were you doing 5 years ago? Were you still working the same place? Were you still doing the same business? Find out even how his relationships were 5 years ago, so you can know where he will be 5 years from now. You know what I mean? Also, if you're looking at marriage, talk about it and ask him, so what do you think about starting a family? Is this something you think about? Is this something you would want? He might probably tell you, yes, eventually if I find someone who... So also ask, so in the next 5 years, would you want to have married? Would you want to have settled down? What timeline are you looking at? Ask those questions. Because, he might say the right things, and then you start dating him, and then 3 years down the line, you're still wondering whether he's gonna marry, he's gonna pop the question, he's gonna want to spend his forever with you. Ask for time frames, especially if you're looking at getting married. I remember when I started dating my fiance, I knew I would not waste 2 years in a relationship without a proposal or without a long-term plan with him. I knew I would not. And he knew, and I told him. And he also did not want that. At first, I didn't think he wanted something serious. Sometimes guys can come out a bit sly. But after getting to know him a bit, I think the first month, he had already said in the next 2 years, he would want to commit long-term. He told me when I met him. So ask for time frame. Don't just assume, alisema anaweza taka kuoa, and maybe he wants to do it after his PhD, and that's maybe 10 years from now, and maybe you don't have that time, especially for women over 30. We have the biological clock, and you don't want to wait for a man for 6 years, and then by the time he's malizing his 7 years so you can get married, you're trying to, you're going from one fertility clinic to the other because you let time pass waiting for a man to be sure about you. Don't do that. Don't make that mistake. So number 6, the 6th dating tip, please put yourself out here. A man is not going to knock at your door and sweep you off your feet. They're not going to come from heaven. Put yourself out here. And when I say put yourself out here, I don't mean just show up anyhowly. Be feminine, be friendly, learn how to smile, learn how to be interesting, and learn how to carry conversations. Don't ask questions that end with yes and no. For example, instead of asking, did you go to work today? Of course, he might tell you yes. Ask, how was work today? Oh, it was busy. Okay, how so? Keep the conversation going. Also learn how to flirt without being too much. For example, if you're at a party or at a gathering and then you see a guy who looks really good, you can look at his direction and do just a half smile, and then move on with your conversation with your girls. Don't be open to dating, be open to meeting new people. Wear your high heels, wear your nice dresses, do your perfumes, look feminine, look beautiful, and carry your sense of humor. And then sometimes we think we want that tall, dark, and handsome, you have to see, hey, he's all I'm looking for. But there are men who are not like that initially when you see them. But when you strike a conversation with them, it's someone you want to meet again and again. So let's be open-minded, and let's learn how to smile. Nowadays, we are saying we are wearing a mask. I can tell if you're smiling at me even if you have a mask. I can tell even from your body language. I can tell even when I tell you hi, whether you have a mask or not. When I say hi to you, the way you respond to me, it makes me feel... It will make me know if I want to carry the conversation further. So know how to carry a conversation forward. Even when it comes to chatting, flirt with him a little, even on WhatsApp, carry the conversation. And also, my first point about be what you're looking for. Also, there are women who are very mean when it comes to conversation, when it comes to phone calls, when you don't want to answer questions when you go on a first date. The following episode after this will be about do's and don'ts on the first date. Answer questions. Women, of course it's an interview, but ask questions, and when he asks them, answer them, because you also be what you're looking for. Don't brush off questions. You come off as standoffish, and then you expect him to be really nice and answer. He will also not, or he might not invite you for another date. You keep waiting for another date. So learn how to carry conversations, be inviting, be warm, be feminine, be a female. We are so attractive, we are so beautiful, we have that female aura. Please carry it with confidence, walk with grace, because you have it. Sawa. Also, this is really, really important. Focus on what you need, not what he is. It can be maybe what you're looking for is very God-fearing man, a tall man, a man who's financially stable, a family-oriented man. Maybe you think, maybe that is what you've seen. You've seen he's tall, you've seen he's financially stable, but then he tells you he does not want a long-term relationship. He tells you he does not do monogamy. But that is what you need at this point in your life. You don't want just a tall guy for casual. You want a man who will commit to you fully. So he's driving what you want, he's carrying conversations, he's funny, the way you like guys to be funny, but he does not want something long-term with you. So as much as at first you'll be attracted by who he is, focus also on what you want from him. What also does he want? That's why I said ask the right questions, and please ask the right questions. There's nothing to be shy about. Sometimes it's not also... The thing about communication is mostly about how you do it, how you even ask these questions. Don't be shy. You're getting to know one another. So focus on what he wants with you. What is it you want from that man? What is it you're looking for? If he's not willing to give you that, please have the dignity and love yourself enough, respect yourself enough to walk. When you start to get to know someone, and then the first 1 week you're arguing, the first 1 week he's disrespected you, stop it. Learn the power of walking away. It's really important, because some of these red flags that we are here singing about that happened 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later, you saw them from the first month, but you assume. Learn to walk away. Stop holding on to someone. We are so scared to lose people that we don't even have. It's the first 2 weeks. He's not committed to you. He's not shown you really who he is, but you're so scared to ask the right questions so that he doesn't walk away. Learn to love yourself enough to let them go if they don't fit that criteria, if they're not what you're looking for, if they're disrespectful. Not everybody will like you. You also don't like everyone, and you're not everyone's type, and that's perfectly okay. I think one of these days I'll talk about how not to be attached too early, because that is what is making us as women hang on to men who are even disrespecting us from the word go. Immediately you meet them. So that is what I had for you today. And as I wind up, you are very beautiful. You are amazing. There's someone just for you somewhere. When you're single, please take yourself on dates, buy yourself nice things, be there for you, read books, carry yourself with grace. Someone will come along. You're not empty. You don't have a gap. You know what I mean? You're not waiting. You're not 50% waiting for 50% to be 100%. You're already whole. You're looking for a whole person so you can complement one another. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Muthoni Mukiri. I really love you guys. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your emails. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you for your criticism. Thank you for whatever you tell me. I take it, and I'm glad that you're here with me. Bye.